What's up, babes? I am super excited to be back with y'all today with another makeup video. This time we're going to experiment with a couple of different things. I'm experimenting with my lighting because the overhead light at the boutique, plus, the videos have been coming out a little orangey yellow and I don't like that. So I'm experimenting with lighting today to see how that goes. And then another thing that I'm going to do is I'm not going to be giving you instructions on how to do your makeup. If you do have questions about anything that I'm doing in the video, feel free to leave me a comment and I will address it in the next video. But what I will be doing is talking about this last season of House of the Dragon. And I am fully aware that there are plenty of House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, super fans, historians, la 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 la. For the most part, I've just been watching everything on TV, which I understand is vastly different from the books. So if you are just like a book purist, don't come for me, okay? I just finished watching House of the Dragon with most of the rest of the fandom, and I have some thoughts. I also just rewatched the whole of Game of Thrones, and I do mean I rewatched all of it from episode 1 to that terrible final season. But let's talk House of Dragon. So, if you go into watching House of Dragon with any knowledge of what happens in the books, then you know that most of the characters that we're introduced to are going to meet a dark and violent end in most situations. So all of these people are fated, which makes it really, really hard to fall in love with the characters because you know that a lot of them are not going to survive. What was intriguing for me before season 2 of House of the Dragon, I did read or listen to an audiobook that had the history. It was like a brief history of the Targaryens. I listened to it on Audible. I'm not sponsored, but I do like a good audiobook. Now, I was like, okay, I like going into this knowing some things that could possibly happen. But again, went in very open-minded, understanding that the show and the books are going to be pretty different. When I started rewatching Game of Thrones, I also started that audiobook. And I did the unabridged version just to kind of get, what the vibe was. And one thing that I will say I'm really impressed with the books is just the ability to just continuously create and grow this huge universe, and then there's these little small callbacks that you see as you get further and further into the series, which I absolutely adore. When first season of House of the Dragon came on, not gonna lie, I thought it was a little stale in comparison to Game of Thrones. But Game of Thrones set a really, really high bar, so it's hard to be like, oh my gosh, it was just as good as, because it wasn't. But it was intriguing and interesting. I did have character standouts that I liked. I liked the production value of having the younger actors and actresses and then having them age up halfway through the show. I absolutely adored that. I thought it was really, really genius casting, and it gave us, those of us who are more visual people, just kind of an idea of how much time was passing, between all of these major moments. Going into season 2, I was really, really excited for more Daemon and Rhaenyra content, which I really didn't get. So, child, I'm doing all this talking. Let me get to the makeup. For the makeup, I really, really just kind of want to do like a very clean look with a strong brow. So I'm not going to be doing anything too crazy with my eyeballs, but I don't even think I'm going to put a lash on today. Yeah, I know, it's hard to believe. On camera, it's going to look like crap. In person, she's going to be cute. So yeah, I feel like I really, really wanted more Daemon Rhaenyra content going into this season. just because of how much they had to go through in the last season to kind of just be together. And I don't know. I wanted them to live happily, though I knew that both of them were fated. I was thinking that I didn't know how they were going to tell the story, so I was thinking and kind of crossing my fingers for the Battle of the God's Eye to happen uh, at the end of the season. I thought that's what was going to close the season. But for a lot of the time, they had Damon in this weird, like, fever dream and Harrenhal throughout the entire series. Like, I was like, y'all, can we have Damon do something else? You know, I need him to irrationally kill somebody or go off the rails. Though I don't really feel like this season was geared toward entertainment. I feel like this season was strictly for the plot. You know what I mean? Like, this felt like, you know how shows have filler episodes? This felt like a filler season. You know what I mean? I wanted more and I didn't get it, and it makes me sad. Um, so I feel like the season did open strong, giving the fans what they wanted. We got to see Winterfell and The Wall. And I think overall the season did give a lot of book purists something to talk about with all of the callbacks to the lore that you get more in the book than you do in the series. So I thought that was really nice, just to see a little bit more of the magic that makes this show so desirable. Let's see, what's something that I didn't like? Loved Bela, but her sister frolicking around looking for this dragon for the last 3 episodes, and we didn't even see her on the back of the dragon in the final. Listen, okay, I just really, really, really want to see all of the characters that I like win, and that wasn't a lot of winning behavior. I'm, you know, getting kicked out of the veil, having to move on. Then I'm like, so did anybody go looking for my good sis? Because it seems like she's out there without a paddle. It seems like she just got off the beaten trail and is out there by her lonesome. You know, I wanted somebody to get a raven that was like, oh my God, my good sis is lost. Somebody help her. But we didn't get that. That's not what we got. And I have a lot to say about Damon and the prophecy that he saw at the end, and his entire journey through the show. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I didn't like how small Rhaenyra seemed this season. It was just kind of like all of this stewing and waiting. But the moments where we did see her take things into her own hands, it made me stand up and cheer. I was like, that's my girl. That's my girl. Um, Losing the queen that never was hard this season, however, and her dragon, the Red Queen. But losing her this season definitely was hard, though I do like the way they set her up as such a honorable and pivotal, geez, such an honorable and pivotal character in the show. And it was kind of like in the episodes leading up to her, you know, fight with Aegon and One Eye, she was being very motherly to Rhaenyra. She was very caring and comforting, and then her having lost essentially all her children and then a grandchild, like, that was a lot. That was a lot to see her perish. Though I knew it was going to happen, I didn't know how they were going to illustrate it, but I did know. Um, and then Aegon drinking and driving that dragon was wild. Okay. Um, And then the bros that he had around him, also wild. Ooh, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done this. This is going to be, I don't want a bright lip. Lord, Amber, what were you doing? Okay, we can make this right. With makeup, you can always make it right. Okay, so we're going to do this to get the actual right color. Okay. So yeah, so that tidbit was hard. But yeah, it was just, there was a lot of talking. I had said early on TikTok, I was just like, you know why we're here. Bring on the blood, bring on the dragons, let's do this. There were some really, really epic scenes with the dragons, and a lot of us came for that. A lot of us came to see the dragons flying over, the Riverlands, seeing the dragons flying over Dragonstone, and just seeing the dragons was great. Seeing the dragon handlers in the pit under Dragonstone was also great. All of the High Valyrian, great. Okay, I'm gonna pick up a couple phrases and I'm gonna get back to y'all. But yeah, overall, the season didn't just blow me away, though I do think there was some really, really great talking points. I think that this was setting a scene, and if they don't execute it next season, is curtains. I don't think it's going to be beneficial for the overall health of the show at all. But we have some really, really big battles coming up, and a lot of them have been foreseen through the show, between Helena and Daemon. So I mentioned earlier Daemon and his fever dreams at Harrenhal, which he literally spent the whole season at Harrenhal with Miss, is her name Alice Rivers, out here, doing God knows what to the man. We saw him do things with his mother. We saw him behead Rhaenyra. We saw him talking to his dead brother. We saw a lot. Okay? And I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I just didn't like it. But I did like that all of that made sense in that final episode. Because for the longest time, I was like, how long are we going to do this? How long is he going to stay there? And at one point, he definitely sensed what was going on and who was behind all the dreams and visions he was having. But he stayed. He kept staying. I do. Oh, the whole Dragon Seed storyline as well. I know this is, all over the place, guys. Bear with me. I'm literally telling y'all this as the thoughts pop into my head. I don't have any notes or script. So if you like a chaotic review, you're in the right place. So the Dragon Seed storyline, again, something I knew was coming. What's going to happen with that next season is going to be rough to watch, especially seeing what both of our new dragon riders had to go through to get there and get their dragon. You already can kind of sympathize with their actions and what they're going to do. Because these are small folk, essentially lowborn people in this universe. And yeah, both of them have become dragon riders at great loss. Well, one more than the other. So I get them kind of wanting to be like, well, I'm just going to do what's best for me. Now, does it pay off for them? From my understandings, what happens in the book? So that's going to be sweet to see somebody do something foul and then get that kind of justice back. Looking forward to it. But let's do it. Let's talk about the finale episode. That's what we're all here to see. That's what's freshest in my mind. Let's get it. So, the finale. I liked it because it tied everything together and it kind of wrapped everything up and set us up to go into some of these epic battles that are to come. So overall, I did like it. So, ooh, child. Let me get this under eye right, y'all. You know, I do gotta be in the world today, so I can't have too little. You know, I can't have too much stuff going on. Okay. So I was saying I did like the finale episode. I feel like it wrapped a really nice bow around everything and got us ready for some really epic battles that are to come. I am certainly looking forward to the battle over the God's Eye. I'm going to tell y'all that I listened to audio depicting that battle, and I listened to it more than once. Let's just say that. So I'm really excited for that. I'm interested to see how it's all going to turn out. And then I'm interested, I saw somewhere, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw somewhere that there's going to be a fourth season. With my limited knowledge of the books and the history and everything like that, I don't know how it's going to be 4 seasons. Like, I can see three after having this big setup. Like, season 2 was like a really, really long trailer for what's to come. Everything in season 2 was preparation for what's to come. Just like the whole of Game of Thrones was preparation for winter coming. Um, so I'm just really, really interested to see how they execute these big battles that are to come, and then how they're going to stretch it to a fourth season if that is in fact true. I think a third season and give the fans what they want would be enough. And then I know they have that other uh, spin-off series that's coming. Sad to hear that the Snow series didn't survive, you know, but definitely really, really happy that, you know, the universe is still growing and that we'll still be able to get um, Song and Ice and Fire content. So let's talk about Aegon. So we have seen Aegon trapped, bedridden, you know, being pushed to prepare to move, like to escape the city, because with Aemond in charge, it's inevitable that stuff is going to go down. Okay, um, Aegon is so wrapped in his trauma that he can't see anything else, and that's not a dig at him only having one eye, but all he sees from the viewer perspective, from my perspective, is just kind of like really just on this journey to revenge. And even when he gets the leg up, he's not satisfied, you know? So now he's in the position of being the Prince Regent, he's making the decisions, and he's still not satisfied. Now that Rhaenyra has her new dragon riders, we're seeing this flicker of fear. You know, you see the rage take over him as he sees one of the new dragon riders come through King's Landing. He immediately, without thinking, without anything, jumps on his horse, gets to Vhagar, gets on Vhagar's back, and starts charging toward Dragonstone. Nothing tactical, just pure energy. Okay? So what and why what and why does he feel these inadequacies? Is it just the charge of being the second born son? Is it just being the person in the family, in the line of lineage that actually wants the throne but can't have it, can't hold it? Is it the hate for his uncle and the similarities that are being played in the show to show us how the battle of the God's Eye is going to come about? The similarities between Damon and Aemon, and having them go through these really subtle but emotional arcs. Not so much Damon, but I feel like Aemon's arcs have been a little bit more reserved, but he feels like he's constantly been embarrassed, constantly been made to feel smaller, constantly been pulled to heel, you know, and now it's his time. But nobody respects him when he steps into these when he steps into these premier roles where he is the one who should be getting all the respect that has been kind of out of reach for him. So I'm interested. I'm definitely interested to see what happens next. Well, you know, I know what we're leading up to. But so I said, let's talk about Aemon, and I started talking about Aegon. Or I said, let's talk about Aegon, and I started talking about Aemon. Ooh, the shade. But yeah, Aegon, he's jacked up. Like, he's jacked up, and he's afraid of his brother, because his brother basically saw an opportunity and took it, you know? So it's a cold, cold world. But a lot of their beef as siblings, a lot of their sibling rivalry, I just say, ain't no fun when the rabbit's got the gun. You know, you and your bros did everything you could to embarrass Aemon. Y'all went to the hoe house, got his favorite hoe, and what? You know, he had to walk out in the nude. He had to walk out in the nude, guys. You know, you figured out where he liked to hang out, where he spent his time, where he could divulge his secrets, and y'all invaded the space. And then when he gets his get back, now you in the bed burnt up, your homeboys sent to the wall. Now that was some petty queen stuff if I ever seen it. He sent his boys to the wall. Petty, petty boots. Okay. Okay, this brow's not doing what I wanted to do, so we're gonna have to clean that up, and that's all right. Let me get the second brow on. Aegon, I felt like, you know, they kept showing scenes of him laid up in that bed trying to garner some kind of sympathy, but he put himself there, babes. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad, not at all. Um, you know, as the old folks will say, you reap what you sow. Now, back to Aemon, we got to see a lot of vulnerable spots from Aemon this season. And I don't care. Like, y'all over there in King's Landing, y'all knew what was up. Y'all knew. And y'all still got behind this cockamamie plan to put this boy on the throne who didn't want it from the jump, did not want to be king. He's out whoring around, getting wasted. And Aemon, you know, you trying to always be in competition with your uncle, you know, that admiration, you let that admiration turn to hate in your heart. And for what? But when I saw him, like, see his brother fly off, messing up his plan, I knew. I was like, oh boy. I was like, this is gonna be something, y'all. Pay attention. Pay attention when sibling rivalry goes wrong. But yeah, I want to see the what we've all kind of been alluded to is that Aemon and Daemon are going to have this big battle over the God's Eye. It's going to be crazy, and it's going to be the end of both of them, but it's going to be good. Um, Allison and Kristen Cole pissing me off this entire season. Allison, big dodo bird, Rhaenyra sneaks into King's Landing to just be like, girl, what's the beef? What's tea? What's going on? And for her to be like, well, my dying senile husband said he wanted Aegon on the throne. Rhaenyra having the good sense to be like, girl, what exactly did my daddy say? Because I feel like, I feel like you ain't right on this one. And when she said it, and Rhaenyra realized, honey, she's better than me. She is better than me. Because I promise you, I'd have been like, we'd have been in there tussling, baby. We'd have been in there tussling. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. You started all this because you misunderstood a story that a senile old man told. Oh, I forgot he didn't tell you about it. Because you weren't supposed to know. You weren't meant to know. What you should have done is trusted his firstborn on that one, babes. Ooh, Allison been pissing me off this whole season. And her and Kristen, his hypocritical tale, child, that whole thing made me mad. And then Allison, she gonna take that ancient time plan B. honey, honey, honey. The shenanigans, they need to stop. And then this heifer gonna come around late in the midnight hour talking about, oh well, I don't want to do this. I don't want there to be any more bloodshed. But you started this, babes. You got to see it through to the end. What do you mean, honey? Allison, bye. Kristen, bye. Cause both of y'all are playing with my time and my emotions. Things that I personally do not tend to play about. Thinking about it just makes me mad. Kristen, the most hypocritical person in this entire series, my camera cut off. I don't know how far back, but I'm talking about Daemon now, so we'll see. So I think it could have been done in lesser episodes, but I do know how important it is for lore to be told in magical ways, such as dreams and visions through the Targaryen line and in their history. It happens a lot. So I do get that. I was just hoping for kind of, I don't know, a shorter cut. I guess I just wanted to see more fighting, guys. Like, don't feel bad about it. Moments that I really, really liked was Daemon and Rhaenyra's reunion. And we had that moment as viewers where we saw the same vision that Daemon saw. Which put a pin in that. The vision. I liked everything pointing to Daenerys being Azor Ahai. But what really was the point of putting her in the vision and making it seem like the White Walkers were the greatest evil when Game of Thrones made it seem like Cersei was the greater evil? You know what I'm saying? Because if you remember, we defeated the White Walkers halfway through the season. Then we had to march on King's Landing and fight Cersei. Like, it just seemed so backwards. Yeah, I don't get that. To have this vision in House of the Dragon, insinuating that the White Walkers are the greater of the evil, which, I mean, I'm sure when the next books come out, that's how it's going to be written. But, you know, the showrunners kind of really, really screwed the pooch on that one. So I don't really know how we can come back from that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Anywho, so yeah, I did like that they gave us that little, I don't know if you can call it an Easter egg with it being that blatant. But I do like that we got to see that in the vision. I like that, you know, he kind of saw his own demise and essentially the demise and rebuilding of House Targaryen single um, in one single vision. So I thought that was really cool. And we've experienced that with Damon. Rhaenyra, on the other hand, she doesn't know what she's walking into. So rightfully so, she comes in very cautious and unsure. And then I loved that he comes to her and they have the intimacy of speaking in High Valyrian to each other. One thing that I really appreciated seeing in High Valyrian was Damon say, "Winter is coming." I mean, tagline for the original series, and something for us, the fans, to kind of help tie both of those storylines together. I really, really enjoyed that. Aside, you know, bending the knee is great. Of course, we love to see a man bend the knee. And him just like reaffirming his devotion to Rhaenyra was also really great. So I thought that was really, really cool, and definitely a good way to just tie all of everything together. And then Rhaenyra basically being like, "And if you ever leave me again, count your days." I love that. So yeah, there was a lot to love in that very small interaction. It was a huge interaction for the show. It was a small interaction in the show, if that makes sense. And yeah, I am going to watch. I'm sad I have to wait another 2 years to see what's going to happen, but I am eager to watch and see how these grand battles are going to come out, because that's what I came for. Okay, I want to see the action. I want to see the gore, and we definitely had some moments in the season, but it just was a really, really slow burn for me personally. So if I had dragon eggs to give, I would probably say I had 5 to give. I would probably give us maybe 3, and that's a generous 3. Do I think I would enjoy rewatching season 2? No, I've seen it. I don't want to do it again. Would I rewatch the last episode of season 2? Yes, I would. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I know that we're getting a season 3 for sure. I've heard rumors of a season 4 for House of the Dragon, but I don't know if that's the case. The only thing that I haven't done is put some lip gloss on, because again, we're just going to keep it light today, because I'm going to be doing a lot of putting things up in the store, so I can't really be too bothered with my makeup. And that's that, friends. What do you think of our makeup look? Did you like our chit chat? Did you like our chit chat? Do you like the lighting? Do you like what's happening here? I really want to produce really great content for y'all, so I want to give y'all what you want. So we can have chaotic conversations about the shows and movies that I've watched every single week whilst I do my makeup and get ready to slay the day. Or we can just go back to doing makeup tutorials. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I am excited to share any and everything with you guys. So you say the word and I'll make it happen. I love you. Have a great day. Bye.